Hey, everybody. Thanks for being with us today. We're in our series Conversations, and I'm here today with my family. We thought it would be cool to have you sit in on a conversation with us. I got my wife, Penny, here. How you doing, babe?
Good.
Yeah, you want to say hey to everybody?
Hi, everybody.
She's real excited about being filmed. It's like her favorite thing, right?
You know,
And who else do we have with us here with you?
we have Jaden and Roman.
Yeah, and Jaden, how old are you, bud?
14.
14.
Yep.
Roman is almost
17.
17. I remember being 17.
And we have Teddy here too.
And then, of course, the star of the family, Teddy. Teddy, can you call him up?
I don't think he wants to come up.
He wanted to be with us. So there you have it, the Gepner 5. And so I wanted to just kind of give you the opportunity, kind of peer in on our family a little bit and just hear from us some of our family dynamics. And I want to open up with a scripture. So I'm going to read it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to kind of talk through it a little bit. And so you can hear some of the ways that we apply scripture in our family. It says in Colossians chapter 3, verse 18, "Wives, submit to your husbands as it is fitting for those who belong to the Lord. Husbands, love your wives and never treat them harshly." We're not going to unpack that too much because we're going to reserve that for next week's conversation. We're going to talk about marriage. But for you and me, real quickly, it's kind of, what does that look like? The whole idea of husband, wife submitting, husband loving. What does that look like in our dynamic?
I think it's just teamwork.
That's good.
It's
a great word.
Yeah.
Good job. That's my girl right there. So yeah, it's the teamwork and it makes the dream work. There you go. Children, always obey your parents. Say the word always. Go ahead.
Always.
Roman cringed a little bit, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he did. Children, always obey your parents, for this pleases who?
The
Lord. Fathers, do not aggravate your children or they will become discouraged. Notice it doesn't say wives or mothers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you
Because
never
we
aggravate
never
children.
aggravate our kids ever. Just the dads.
Yeah. So one of the things as we unpack this, I thought it'd be a really cool question for you guys to just from your vantage point, your observations. How does me and mom, how does our relationship impact the family, Roman?
Well, I mean, you guys get along, and so we get along when you guys get along, and it just brings us together, and we
That's
like
good.
being around each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, does it feel a little more peaceful?
Yeah.
How about you,
Yeah.
Jay? Anything?
Yeah, definitely. I think it brings a lot of peace to the family. And when we all get along, you guys get along. Like Roman said, we get along. And then when we all get along, it all works out well
Right.
and we have a good time.
So, yeah, we have a good time.
Yeah.
So teamwork does make the dream work, right? Yeah. The word that we just read, it says, children always obey. That word obey is kind of harsh, isn't it? It's kind of harsh. You think it is?
In certain circumstances, yes. Like,
Obey!
yep. Mhm.
Let's talk about obedience. What does it mean? What does it mean, Jaden?
I think it means to when I obey, like you guys, I think when Roman and I or me, like when we obey you, I think it brings honor, but also it brings honor to you guys, but also God, and that's what I'm like my goal is to when I obey you guys, and also when I know I obey you guys, I obey God, and that brings blessings when we obey.
That's good.
Good.
Good. You want to talk about obey a little bit? I know this is tough. Like we've been talking through this a little bit. Like just unpack a little bit from your perspective.
Just like we've always been taught obedience is doing everything right away, all the way, and with a happy heart, what we're asked to do. And it just, I mean, it's hard a lot of times,
It
but
is.
I mean, you guys enjoy it, and it definitely we get along once we are obedient, and like Jaden said, we are blessed.
Yeah.
So,
That's hard though, because when what are some things we ask you to do that you're supposed to obey?
I mean, me and Jaden getting along,
That's tough.
That's a tough one.
For teenage boys to get along. But there's certain responsibilities. Like what are some of those things that maybe you struggle? You can be honest.
Dishwasher. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Especially at
simple,
night, you're
but
like, I just want
hard.
to go to
and-
bed.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm,
And
no.
when you obey and you do it the right way, all the way, there's a blessing that comes with that. And
Yeah.
sometimes you forget that
Yeah.
there's a blessing that comes with it. Yeah. Any thoughts on the obedience thing, honey?
I think our kids are generally pretty obedient, but I mean, we all struggle with obedience, because
Totally.
we're all wanting what we want.
Yeah.
We're all driven by our own selfish desires. So it's hard to be obedient all the time.
Yeah. The word obey means to listen and do.
Mhm.
To listen and do. And I know for some of our families, you're watching online, you're at one of our locations, and you have a dynamic where your kids don't want to obey. The important thing is understanding that, they need to know what obedience is. Obedience isn't like us, like, you got to do this. It's like an expectation. Like when we ask you to do something, you're going to do it, and you listen and do. It's still hard. And it's hard. Like I know even as a Christian, there's things in our faith it's hard to obey, but that's what we do. We obey. It's still kind of a harsh word. So here's a question. As you grow in your ears, and this is to the boys, and then we can kind of pipe in. As you guys grow up, I mean, you guys aren't kids. Like we are just watching video and looking at pictures of you guys. And I remember you're saying, I can't believe that was me. And you guys, you look so different. I know we all are kind of in awe of how fast our children grow up. But as you grow in your years, what are some of the most difficulties of being a family to you? Like what's hard as you grow up?
Well, like being a family like together and stuff.
Yeah.
Like when
Because it's changing.
yeah, like sometimes when I want to do other things, like maybe like instead of, for instance, like playing a family game together, I may want to go like hang out with somebody.
You could say it.
Or-
Dad likes to play exploding kittens.
Yeah.
Oh,
A lot. Or
a lot.
or if I want to like just stay in my room and listen to music or something, because that's something I enjoy. But sometimes I need to remember that spending time with family is more important than those things.
Yeah. That's good. What about you, Roman? As you grow older, what is one of the harder parts as you grow older as a family? Because it's changing.
Yeah, I mean, like you guys, we're going to be out of the house. Like it's going to be, like you guys always said, the blink of an eye, we'll be out. And
Yeah.
so it's just good to spend time together, even though we don't always want to. But
Mhm.
Yeah.
and,
We'll talk about this a little bit, like camping.
yeah,
Like I remember this summer, like when we go camping and you're like, I don't want to go camping, but you know that it's good, but
Yeah.
it's part of growing up. Like when you're younger, you loved camping.
and then I end up enjoying it. And
Yeah. But it's still hard because you're getting older and you just have different things that are more appealing, and
Yeah.
it's hard. What about you? Any thoughts on that, honey? It's been hard from our vantage point.
Watching our kids grow up,
It's hard,
it's
you know?
hard.
Yeah.
They were babies for such a short period of time,
Yeah.
and now they're teens. Teens are hard because they're just struggling between independence and being dependent upon us, and it's a struggle for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. It goes fast.
Yeah.
It goes really fast. Let's keep that conversation. Like what do we do as our family that helps make us stronger? Like what would you say, honey, are some of the things we do? You guys can kind of pipe in on that.
Yeah.
What do we do?
I think we all make it a priority to do our quiet time every morning. We start the day off right,
Yeah.
spending time with the Lord. I think that's important. We spend a lot of time together, which I think is important.
I think those things are really kind of foundational.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about it's like in 10 years you're going to be so grateful for some of these things, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's when we talk about like what are things that we do now that make our family strong, and also make it last. Because we want to be friends in 10 years.
Yeah.
I want to be friends with you guys. I don't want there to be this like animosity and like, man, I'm so glad they're gone. I hope they don't ever come back. Maybe that's you, right? You're like, my kids, I can't wait. But we want to be connected, and there's things that we're trying to do now, like the quiet time is establishing that foundation. What about you, Roman? What do you think are some things that?
Spending time together, like we see each other every day, and
Yeah,
we eat dinner pretty much together at one table, and a lot of people can't do that, but
Yeah.
Mhm.
it just grows us stronger. And
what about you, Jane? What are some things that we've done that you think help add value to our family that will have a long lasting relationship?
Like making time to like talk,
Mhm.
like even if we're not at home or something, like if it's just me and you in the car, we like talk about our day and like how things are going and stuff, which really help build your relationship with one another, because when you talk, it just like you get to know each other more and more, even though you may know each other, but yeah.
Five
That's
guys
good.
trips.
What's that?
5 guys trips.
5 guys
Yeah.
trips. That's something we've done. Penny doesn't eat meat,
I don't.
so she lets us go and do hamburgers together, and that's always fun.
Mhm.
We got to do that again soon. So this is really where it all comes together for us, our family vision. We've had this since,
Mhm.
I mean, the boys were little.
Mhm.
What is our family vision, Roman?
Honor Jesus in everything you do, so He will get glory and we will be blessed.
Yeah. How has that affected you? You know, how do you think that has affected and impacted our family?
It greatly. I mean, like Jaden said, when we honor you, we honor Jesus, and then we're eventually blessed.
Yeah, it's still hard though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had to come to you guys and apologize for breaking that. Haven't I? I mean, I have. And you know, I haven't honored Jesus. You guys have seen me dishonor Jesus in the car.
Yeah.
Haven't you?
Yes.
Yes.
Sometimes. It's rare though, like in the car.
Yeah. How has this kept us on track, honey? Having that vision and have kept us on track and as functional as possible. We're not perfect. We are very far from it, but the function part, like being able to move forward, like how has that vision kept us moving forward?
I mean, I think Jesus being, you know, the priority in our lives keeps us moving forward, and so that vision that our family has helps us line up our decisions with whether or not they honor the Lord. And so if they do, then they're good decisions. If they don't, then they're not. You know, we think about those before we make those decisions. And yeah, we're not perfect. We mess up every day, but I think the goal is important, and to strive for that goal.
It's good. What about you, Jaden? How the family vision? You think that's been important for you to have something clear like that you know that we're going to hold you accountable to?
Yeah, because even when we're away from each other, like if we're at a friend's house or just out, then before we do like speak or do our like before we speak, or like we just try to like do everything to honor Jesus,
Yeah.
like in our actions and in our words towards others, because we want to honor Him in everything.
Right. Like when you guys like go somewhere, I'll say, remember who you are,
Yes.
right? And you know what that means. You're Gepner, and we honor Jesus in everything we do. Yeah. I think it's been real important and something that we've kept. Let me go back to the Bible verse here in Colossians. So I'm gonna put myself in a bit of a situation here, but fathers, do not aggravate your children, ouch, or they will become discouraged. How do I aggravate you, Jaden? There's got to be ways, and you can be honest. I think this is important that people know, like, we're still human, right? What are some ways that I've aggravated you?
I
I know what
mean,
Roman's going to say.
it's like rare. It doesn't really happen. Just when I'm in like a mood or something, like a different kind of mood, like when you're like in the mood to play a game and I'm not, and then or if I'm trying to like do something else and you want to do something. I mean, you have like good intentions and stuff, like not trying,
That's good.
but just sometimes it's just me, like.
Yeah.
But that sometimes gets me. But that's it pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, not that much.
He's being very kind. Thank you. Roman, and I know, but you can explain it, because this has been something I'm trying to guard and what. So how have I aggravated you?
Talking too much.
She knows
It's like-
it's true.
Usually at the wrong time too.
Yeah.
It's like,
The lecture.
yeah. And
Yeah.
then
Because you're like,
I just
if I'm
want to get
correcting you, I sometimes overcorrect, right?
I just
Yeah.
want to get to the point, finish it. And
I remember it was probably 3 or 4 months ago. We were talking like after a correction time, and you were saying, "I wish you would just say it and then let it go."
Yeah.
And it's hard, isn't it? Especially for
Yeah,
me.
we want to make sure you get it.
Yeah, it's
Make
hard,
sure
though.
you really understand.
Yeah, I mean, honest. I think this is how we've navigated through it. Is I hear it, and I don't want to aggravate you. I don't want to overwhelm you. But I also know my role as a dad is to correct. And we talk about the guardrails, right? And trying to keep you in those guardrails and remind you of stuff. But I can be a windbag. True story. So let's talk about our conversations, guys. And I think it'd be cool to hear what your perspective is, honey. We talked about what it is to be a young man. Remember those conversations? Like when you guys started, like you were like preteens and we started talking about stuff. You know what I'm saying? Parents, if you haven't talked to your kids about stuff, you need to talk about stuff. And you guys know what I'm talking about. We listened to some recordings and read some books. But let's talk about that a little bit, like the young man. Like, what does it mean to be a young man? Tell us what it means to be a young man.
Reject passivity, accept responsibility, lead courageously, and expect God's reward.
Yeah. It's up on your wall, isn't it, Roman? Yeah, you got it too. So that, like, how's that affected you? You know, knowing like there's a target. Is that affect you? I mean, you can be honest.
Like when, like, just in general, when we're out, like I said before, or when you're correcting us instead of like just like being like a Debbie Downer and like being like I'm gonna go mope in my room or something. Like when I get corrected or something, instead of just moping around, I should take that correction and reject passivity and accept what you've told me instead of just being like beating myself up about it. And remember next time a situation like that comes around that I'll remember what you said and then it'll go better for me. Yeah.
What are some of your observations? I've seen that. I'm proud of you. You've grown up a lot in that. Some of your observations with this whole idea of being a young man and what it means to be a young man. What have you observed?
I think that they try. I think it's hard, being a teen is hard. But I think that, we've been proactive with, challenging them on these things, which is important. And, they're not going to get it right all the time, but I think that they know that this is what it means to be a young man and to try to strive to do those things are really, really important because, they are young men and they're going to be out and on their own really soon. And we want them to be blessed and not have hard times and not have bad relationships.
Yeah.
So,
what about you, Roman? Any thoughts on the young man?
Just like it's like representing Jesus. Like he rejected passivity, he led courageously, and he then we ultimately got the reward from him. And just like,
oh, that's good.
Yeah, then
you go preach. That's good.
Yeah.
It's really good. I know it's been powerful for me to see you guys. I mean, we reward that when we see it. The other day, I was telling you, I was like, I'm so proud of you. Remember that? Because you hear people come to you and say, Roman or Jaden, I'm so. People will come to me and see, what your actions, and you are honoring Jesus and everything you do, and you're that young man. It's pretty cool to see it happen. So we're going to kind of, one of the things I don't know if our church family knows it. You guys we adopted. We're a family where we adopted you guys, and just kind of like how has that affected our family? What do you think, honey? Just it makes it unique and special.
It's unique. I don't see our family as different than other families.
Yeah.
But, obviously it was a huge blessing for us to, be able to adopt you guys. You made us a family.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. What do you think, Jay? Looking at those old pictures of when we were in Russia.
I mean, of course, like it made a huge impact being adopted and stuff because, I mean, without we wouldn't be here with you guys and like we're so blessed to have like good parents like you guys, like good Christian parents who lead us in the right direction and stuff and like keep us on track.
Yeah. It's cool to like see you guys grow up over the years and you see the pictures. What do you ever think about that much?
I mean, even though I lived in orphanage for 4 years, it seems like we've always been part and just like never that I don't even remember like any of that.
Yeah.
We've never really felt the disparity there. It's always just been, I think God gave us that unique thing. What's your favorite all-time family memory? You got to have one.
Just spending time together on the couch and looking at family photos and
I think it's your favorite thing to do.
Yeah.
You ask about all the time. Can we look at pictures?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we've been doing that for
Ever.
years.
Mm-hmm.
We got video upon video that we still haven't even watched. We got to bust those out. So watching, what's one of your favorite family memories that you like to?
When we get off the island and take trips and stuff, and like even if it's not that far away, like maybe an hour out, and we get to like go to the closest mall or something and just like hang out and like walk around.
So let me explain. This is funny. When we moved here from Florida, we thought like, man, this is like an island up here in the Upper Valley. Like you have to get off the island to go to the mainland and experience some of the, real world things. So that's what Jade's talking about, getting off the island. We do that, like go to Chick-fil-A or go to like, we'll do that. It's been tough through COVID. So, well, thanks guys. This is fun. Any parting thoughts, honey? Anything you want to kind
No,
of,
I think we have fun. I mean, I think
you have any favorite family memories? I think you do.
camping.
Camping.
Gosh,
Or what
I
about
love camping.
the Disney
We
experiences?
took our kids to Disney. They were too little, I think, to remember it, but it was so fun to get them.
Yeah. We,
So-
we were just looking
yeah.
at those pictures, and
Yeah.
Jaden was smitten with Piglet. Just saying, right? Not
A little-
anymore.
Yeah,
That was old.
I mean, he's still my favorite.
There you go.
You know.
Hey, Piglet. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I love you guys. It was good talking.
Yeah.
And thanks for being honest and candid. And, honestly, all this is about how can you have a family that is long lasting and really sustained for a long term? Because I know so many families that just don't talk or have no relationship. And I think what we've tried to do is we try to instill value in Jesus first and really being responsible and honoring other people. And, we're not perfect, and they got stories for days about us, but I think it's really cool to see God bring a blessing into the family. I love you guys, and thanks for taking the time to be with me today.